The 4 Pillars of Governance Best Practice for New Zealand Directors has just been updated by the Institute of Directors, and this series is going to go through what those changes are.
The 10th key change to the 4 pillars is this completely new section on human capital. So what does that mean? Well, it's really looking at workforce and people matters. Things like workforce strategy, culture, conduct, diversity, inclusion, remuneration and performance management, succession planning, and learning and development. So I thought this was interesting because I had considered this part of the board's role all along, but now we're actually seeing this written down as best practice. So I guess that's a really positive change. What does this section cover? Well, it looks at board oversight and in particular, the board's role in human capital, like really trying to emphasise that it has expanded, and a lot of that is because of new legislation in terms of health and safety. One of the key things is to make sure you've got appropriate policies and procedures in place, and there's a whole section on what kind of policies to expect here. And then it goes into the sorts of issues that boards will need to get oversight of. So talent strategy, how you attract, motivate, retain workers, culture and conduct. Are you fostering the right ethical standards, and is the board setting the tone for a healthy organisation? And some really good questions to ask there. Next, we have diversity and inclusion. I'm wondering why this wasn't in the previous one, but it's obviously now boards are actually seeing this as highly important, which is positive. So how's diversity really embedded in an organisation? Not as a nice to have, but a must do. We do know that teams that are diverse make better decisions, so this makes complete sense. Next one is remuneration and performance management. So are there transparent, effective remuneration policies? And in addition to this, we have succession planning. So not just about the CEO, but also about management and other key personnel. So that's the key difference there. And then learning and development, seen as a critical part of modern business. And that has to do with the amount of changes that organisations are going through. So if they're going to keep up, they need to make sure their staff have got the skills that they require. Also looks at the future of work, and again this is looking at those kind of mega trends that we're seeing coming through with the future of work that boards need to keep an eye on. So for example, the impact of changing ways of working, the impact of technology, whilst also looking after workers through change and assessing the potential risks and disruption that may bring to the organisation, and some great resources here from the IOD to go and have a bit of a squiz at in terms of getting more information. Next, there's a really big section around metrics. So how does the board actually get the right information around these workforce matters? So some key questions here for directors in terms of what arrangements does the board have, who has responsibility, what insight does the information give, and how's the board getting comfort over these metrics, what's it like to work in the company, and so on and so forth. This is the policy section I was talking about. So example workforce metrics, and here are quite a few things where policies can be created around as well. And then lastly, sort of finishes by looking at external reporting frameworks, including a human element, and this is often a focus for institutional investors and stakeholders. So again, the importance of that human element, not just because it's the right thing to do, but actually it's going to help your business and get more investors and build better organisational decisions. And I did like this quote here, so I will just leave you with this. A company treats its people with dignity and respect. It honours diversity and strives for continuous improvements in working conditions and employee wellbeing. In a world of rapid change, company fosters continued employability through ongoing upskilling and reskilling. And that's really the whole summary of the chapter. And that's from the Davis Manifesto of 2020, which we looked at in one of the earlier videos.